So, what are your thoughts on the book 1984?
Overall, it was a really good book. It had a really cool topic. It was a little scary for me at points, but overall, it's probably the best book I've read in Regis.
Did you read 1984 last year?
I did. I really enjoyed it, actually.
Okay, so what were your thoughts on 1984?
I thought that it was pretty out there with regards to literature. I thought that it was a really different idea that they kind of took a cool spin on and made it something different, but something very scary and realistic at the same time.
Okay. So, Cody, what are your thoughts on the book 1984?
It was interesting. Could have been better.
What are your thoughts on the book?
I thought it was like a good book. It was very creepy at some points, to think that that's how it worked. But overall, I really enjoyed it. It's a good story and had a fun time reading it.
Okay. Why do you think Winston has such dark dreams? And his dreams are about his mother and his sister disappearing, and
he's got some pretty messed up dreams because of the time period that he's living in. I mean, in the book 1984, people are living in fear and they don't really have any options other than to go along with what Big Brother's going with. So, I mean, when he's figuring out everything that's going on, he's into some deep stuff.
What do you think the meaning of Ingsoc is? Stuff such as war is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength.
I think it's all about control, which is kind of the whole point of that book, but I think it's the idea that you take something bad and you make it sound like it's actually the good side of life compared to the other side. Okay. So it's just a way of controlling the people.
Okay. In 1984, telescreens, spying, and Big Brother are used to watch over people. At Regis Jesuit High School, could you give me an example of where or whom you may find these things?
Dean Doherty and the security cameras.
There's cameras pretty much everywhere. I don't know. Dean Doherty's always on the lookout for people misbehaving, and yeah, Big Brother Dean Doherty.
Well, I guess Dean on cameras would be an example.
I mean, just our installation of the new camera system is obviously one. I mean, Dean uses that to tell people to tuck their shirts in. I mean, it gives them control and eyes everywhere in the school. So it's a lot of what's going on in 1984.
Can you find any examples of newspeak in emails, cell phones, and other things?
Yeah, I'll probably just the text lingo, LOL, and those cool things.
In today's government, could you find any examples of newspeak?
Well, there are text messages, and when text messages, and the government watches over the text messages.
Could you give me an example of Big Brother?
I think it's the NSA that tracks every phone call going on in the United States.
All right.
In today's government, could you give an example of something like Big Brother?
I think the media has a huge control over it. The government releases what they want us to hear a lot of the times, and the media is a perfect output to show us what the government wants us to see.
In today's government, could you give me an example of Big Brother?
The police.
In today's government, could you give me an example of Big Brother?
Yeah. Well, probably just the police force and stuff, and it's watching over us to protect us. But sometimes it seems like they're watching too closely.
Do you think that George Orwell wrote this as a warning for years to come?
Absolutely. I think he showed us kind of the downside of communism, basically. The communism obviously very extreme, but at the same time it is still communism. It's government having ultimate control, which I think is awful. And we're facing some of that with the current government. People are tossing that around that Obama's trying to control us, which obviously not this extreme, but I think it definitely is a warning to what can happen if we give the government too much power.
Okay.
How has 1984 changed the way you look at life, movies, or government?
It's changed the way, probably, of the government in a positive way. They're doing a good job, staying out of our business, and just giving us enough space to be who we want to be. Then, as far as the media goes, I don't know. It's cool that we have choices about what we like, and it's not handed right to us like it was in the book. So.
How has Winston affected your life?
Other than having to read 1984, I mean, he's opened my eyes a little bit, I guess. He's made me want to actually do things and take a stand on certain things that I actually care about.
How has Winston affected your life?
Again, I think it's just the fact that he stuck up for something that he believed in. I think that's inspiring, especially when you've got something so twisted as the government in 1984.
How has Winston affected your life?
It has inspired me to stand up for what I believe in.
How has Winston affected your life?
Well, me and Winston go way back, and I think that his spirit to do what he thought was right really impacted me and showed me that sometimes you have to do what you think's right no matter what everyone else says.